Ahead on our news tonight, new owners for the Grand Lucayan. We find out just how close they are to getting the keys. Plus, overturning a landmark abortion law in the United States reignites the passionate debate, even here at home.
So I just can't imagine life without a mother. This is new for me.
And a reminder that Mother's Day is not a celebration for everyone. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Kindino Knowles. The new owners of the Grand Lucayan Resort will be announced soon. The long-awaited news comes following a weeks-long selection process. Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Tourism speaking with our Sasha Lightbourne, who reports tonight on who that new owner may possibly be.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism Chester Cooper telling Rotarians of the West Nassau Club today that an announcement will come in a few days about the new buyer of the Grand Lucayan Resort in Grand Bahama. But here's what Cooper told our Berthany McDermott last Wednesday.
We should be making a statement in relation to the Grand Lucayan within the next 7 days.
Those 7 days are up, and Cooper now saying on the sidelines of that Rotary meeting that he's optimistic, noting the initial bidding list stood at 30, which was cut to 7, and now there's only 1.
We had perhaps 7 credible offers, which we whittled down to 3, and now there's 1. That's all I can say at this point. But I can tell you that we believe this potential buyer fit the criteria that we set. Good reputation, adequately funded, a vision for the property, a shared vision for Grand Bahama. We believe we have found someone fitting that criteria.
Our news team understands that the successful bidder is allegedly the owners of Hard Rock. We asked Cooper about the same.
I can't comment on specifics in relation to who bid and who didn't bid and what their bids look like. I simply can't comment.
The Minnis administration bought the property from Hong Kong conglomerate Hutchinson Whampoa in August 2018 for $65 million. In March 2020, the government signed a heads of agreement with Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines and the ITM Group, which promised to invest more than $300 million in the redevelopment of the property and construction of a cruise port. However, the COVID-19 pandemic delayed and changed the terms of the agreement. After coming to office last September, the Davis administration canceled that deal, arguing that it was bad and promised to find a new buyer. Reporting for our news, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
A simple oversight is how the failure of sitting MPs to declare their assets is being labeled. Berthany McDermott reports tonight the Deputy Prime Minister is saying the current legislation could be improved.
After it was revealed that several members of Parliament failed to declare their assets as mandated by law, Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Clint Watson, said he suspects it was a simple oversight on the part of the MPs. Public Disclosure Commission Chairman Bishop Victor Cooper told the National Review that extensions were granted in some cases as some new members were not aware of the legal requirement. However, Watson said all PLP MPs were aware.
People being so consumed with whatever they were doing obviously didn't make the deadline or forgot the deadline was there. And now, and trust me, I can tell you, since this has made headlines, many of them have rushed to get it done. So I think in many cases it was just simple oversight to get it done. It's the first one since taking office, and I think people just miss a deadline.
The Public Disclosure Act mandates that every senator and member of Parliament provide to the Public Disclosure Commission a declaration of assets, income, and liabilities up to December 31st by March 1st. The Act, at Section 15, also empowers the Commission to extend the time for the filing of declarations for a further period not exceeding 30 days. It's been more than a month since the extension deadline.
There was a 30-day extension, so I've asked if there's another deadline. Haven't been given one. All I know is that all persons who are outstanding were told to contact the Commission and to arrange when they will have the information available to them.
Now, considering that the original deadline has passed, as well as the 30-day extension, we asked the press secretary if those MPs could face consequences.
Now, as to whether there are consequences or what will happen to the commission, you probably need to talk to the commission chairman who volunteered the information to the media.
The act provides for a $10,000 fine or imprisonment of a term not exceeding 2 years or both for anyone who violates the law. Several MPs, including Dr. Hubert Minnis, Dr. Michael Darville, Glenys Hannah Martin, Adrian White, Shannon Don Cartwright, Clay Sweeting, and Clea Glover Roll told the Tribune they've all declared their assets. Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper also weighing in, reiterating the Davis administration's zero tolerance for corruption, noting the legislation needs to be improved.
This Public Disclosure Act, in my view, needs to be transformed and updated. There are many aspects of it that can be more effective and can have more teeth for the purpose that it's designed to do. Our government is committed to transparency, public disclosure, and of course we have a zero tolerance for corruption. And we believe that if these pieces of legislation are used effectively, it can help us with good governance.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Activist groups rallying together in Rawson Square this morning for the launch of the We Won't Rest campaign, demanding the Davis administration do more to protect children from abuse, including accountability for abusers. Jasmine Brown reports.
That group of activists promising to turn up the heat on government officials and a bid to better protect children across the country.
We will give you, the offenders, no rest.
No rest. No rest. No rest.
We will give you, those that sit in this very house,
no rest. No rest.
No rest.
No
Our government, no rest.
No rest.
And to you, our citizens of this great Commonwealth of the Bahamas, no rest. Until the protection of our youth and society at large is adhered to according to our laws.
The rally, which was organized by Rise Bahamas, was supported by advocates from Families of All Murder Victims, Silent No More, Hannah Carey Cares Foundation, Save Our Children Alliance, Rights Bahamas, Save Our Daughters, the DeMarco Foundation, the Resilience Program, Our Sanctuary, and the Dignified Girl Project. One by one, they all insisted enough is enough when it comes to protecting children.
For too long, we've been leaving communities behind and leaving our children behind. We stand in solidarity with Rise Bahamas as it relates to child abuse, incest, molestation. The intersectional advocacy for all children matters.
I stand because persons feel like nowadays they are entitled. They have some type of entitlement to children's body parts. We need to now send a stiffer penalty and a stronger message to the community that no adult has the right to harm, abuse, or attack a child.
But today, I want the survivors in this country to know that we believe you.
Yes.
We are standing with you. We are giving you the voice that you have been denied for far too long.
Rise Bahamas President Ternille Burroughs offered several recommendations, including the introduction of Bella's Bill, which is named in honor of 4-year-old Deanya Bella Walker. Baby Bella's death sparked national outrage late last year and led to a renewed national conversation about violence against women and children.
She might rest in peace, but we won't rest until children in our beautiful Bahama land are safe.
Bella's bill calls for an amendment to the Child Protection Act Section 63. It also calls for mandatory reporting of crimes against children by immediate family, guardians, and caregivers. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Questions are being asked here at home about the practice of terminating unwanted pregnancies. We will explore the issue in a moment, but first, meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at temperatures. Greg?
Thanks, Kendina. Welcome everybody for our first look at weather on this warm Thursday evening. Temperatures near the 80-degree mark with just a few clouds outside. East-northeasterly winds at 2 miles per hour. They are very light out there. And your feels like temperature very warm, 86 degrees on the outdoors. Satellite view, that upper level disturbance now to the east of the Bahamas, trailing moisture across the southeast and central Bahamas, producing some showers down there. We also have some of that moisture wrapping around towards the north. So we're seeing some isolated showers across the northwest Bahamas, even had a thunderstorm here in the capital earlier today. Most of the system will continue to slide out towards the east throughout the night and into tomorrow. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
All right, thanks a lot, Greg. Well, still to come on our news, the abortion fight in the United States raising questions about our very own laws. Here are some reactions to the issue. Plus, find out how family and friends are honoring the legacy of a lost loved one. And when mom is no longer around on Mother's Day. That's coming up when our news returns.
Got size at 6'5". Hi, this is Salute.
With a landmark abortion case under threat in the United States, questions are being asked here at home about the practice of terminating unwanted pregnancies. Jared Higgs, who explores the issue, telling us what members of the public and politicians have to say about it.
With a leaked draft opinion revealing that the United States Supreme Court has voted to strike down Roe v. Wade, a landmark decision from 1973, where the court ruled that the United States Constitution protected a pregnant woman's liberty to have an abortion without excessive government restrictions, questions are being asked about the Bahamas' position on abortion. Abortion is illegal in the Bahamas, although a 2012 UN report revealed that government was aware of cases where licensed physicians performed abortions for justifiable reasons. At the time, government said such abortions were possible because the law against abortions was interpreted liberally.
It's deep. It's a deep question.
In that 2012 report, the government stated that abortions in the Bahamas are performed on the grounds of fetal deformity and rape and incest, as well as on health grounds. In other countries in the region, such as Barbados, abortions are legalized on the books in a wide array of circumstances. Dashnik Evans, a logistics manager, explains why she's pro-choice.
To decide what she wants to do with her body. No one should tell her what to do if she chooses to have a baby, if she's raped or any circumstances that she might face. She should be able to choose if she wishes to keep the baby or not.
Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Michael Darville was asked about government's position on abortions back in February. He says while his view on it is complex, he wouldn't state what the government's position is. Tiffany Boleg is a stay-at-home mom who doesn't support legalizing abortion.
If I was believing in abortion, I would not deny I have.
How much kids you have?
9.
You have 9 children?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're pro-life, clearly.
So.
Tell me how has life been raising 9 kids for you?
Well, I'm a survivor, so.
Stevania Mitchell, a 25-year-old cashier and mother of 3, agrees with Boleg, saying abortion goes against God's word.
God say, multiply, be fruitful and multiply.
And so your strict interpretation of that?
Yes.
Do you have any kids?
I do. I have 3 kids.
Okay. What do you say to someone who says, I can't, I can't.
God makes a way. Don't abort that baby. You don't know who that child is going to be when that child gets older.
But there are those who believe in a woman's right to choose. 40-year-old horticulturalist Angelo Hamilton and Vernita Evans, a Defense Force officer, explain why.
You have to be in it to know it. Nobody can say how somebody should live their life. Only that individual who's living that life.
Once the birth wasn't a live birth, then I don't consider it as a soul. So it has never entered the earth, so it's really not counted.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
When our news comes back from the break, getting your rear in gear for cancer. Plus, the NBA playoffs continue with DeAndre Ayton and the Suns now up 2-0 on Dallas. Moving on without a mother on Mother's Day. We have the details when our news returns.
Got size at 6'5". Hi, this is Salute.
This is our news. Welcome back. The NBA playoffs continue with DeAndre Ayton and the Suns now up 2-0 on Dallas. Meanwhile, Grand Bahama set to host a local track meet. Marcellus Hall, he's up now with sports.
All right, thanks, Kendino. Welcome to our sports, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. The Phoenix Suns are seemingly well on their way to getting back to the NBA Finals after a lot of people thought that last year's return was a bit of a fluke. So far, so good. They took on the Dallas Mavericks last night, looking to take a 2-0 lead in that best-of-7 series. Let's take a look. Well, DeAndre Ayton and his Phoenix Suns continuing their second-round matchup against the Dallas Mavericks. Suns looking to take a 2-0 lead in the best-of-7 series and defend home court in the process. And they would do just that. This game pretty close throughout the first three quarters, but then Chris Paul catching fire as he would once again lead his team to a huge victory. They pull away down the stretch. 129-109 ends up being the final score, a 20-point blowout. Suns now take a 2-0 series lead as they shift back to Dallas. How about our guy DeAndre Ayton? Kind of a slow night for him offensively. Played just 18 minutes in the contest, had 9 points, 3 rebounds, but again, they didn't need much of his contribution because they blew out the Mavericks here to get the win. And they now head back to Dallas, where DeAndre looks to reassert himself as the series continues. On to some track and field news, where next weekend, May 13th, we'll see another track meet take place. The Alive first annual Spring Fling Invitational will take place at the GB Sports Complex. The event will take place at that time, featuring teams and athletes from across New Providence and Grand Bahama, all expected to be in attendance for this particular event. And there it is. You check on sports for you here on this Thursday. I'm Marcellus Hall. Back to you, Kendino.
All right, thanks a lot, Marcellus. Don't go anywhere. Greg is back in the Weather Center with your extended forecast. Plus,
So I just can't imagine life without a mother.
remembering mothers who have transitioned as we get ready to celebrate Mother's Day this weekend. That's coming up when our news returns.
Got size at 6'5". Hi, this is Shamik.
Welcome back to our news. The family and friends of a well-loved colon cancer awareness advocate who passed away last month are gearing up to complete one of the last projects she was working on, the Get Your Rear in Gear Colon Cancer Awareness Walk. Her sister, Emily Darville, and friend Candace Alden.
This inaugural event is stated for May 14th, 2022 at 6 a.m. Money raised will financially support patients being treated for colorectal cancer through partnership with the Cancer Society of the Bahamas.
And it's a time to come together. We're all going to wear our blue. We're going to paint the streets blue. We're meeting at Goodman's Bay. If you haven't had a chance to register, you can come by like 5 o'clock and pick up your bag.
Andrea passed away on April 2nd, 2022 due to complications from colorectal cancer at the age of 31. After being diagnosed in 2020, she became an advocate for cancer awareness. Her friend Theo Seeley speaking about carrying on Andrea's plans for next weekend's walk.
I lost both of my parents to cancer, and so supporting Andrea's initiatives and just volunteering with her booths at the mall really was special for me. But being a part of this fundraising event for Andrea, I think the most special part for me on May 14th is going to be able to participate in the Blue Mile. And so the Blue Mile in the races where anyone who's participating, once you register online, you can purchase a billboard that'll be along the race route, which can have a photo of someone who's either fighting cancer or someone who may have lost their life to cancer. And I think that's going to be special for me because at least I'll be able to put up a picture of my father, who I lost to colon cancer in 2014.
And if you want to participate, be sure and visit Our News Bahamas on Facebook to learn more. Well, mixed conditions across the capital this week. Greg, he's back in the Weather Center now with your extended forecast. Greg?
Thanks again, Kendino. Welcome back, everybody, for our second look at weather. That upper-level disturbance that was producing some showers across the area is now to the east of the Bahamas. Trailing moisture from that system still hanging out across the central and southeast Bahamas. Showers and thunderstorms down there, a little more numerous, but we're having some of that moisture wrap around on the northern side. producing some isolated showers and thunderstorm activity across the northwest Bahamas. System will continue to slowly slide out towards the east, but that moisture will hang around, so we should see some more showers in our forecast tonight to tomorrow as that system and that moisture hangs out in our neck of the woods. High pressure is weakening across the area, light winds over the next couple of days, boating conditions really nice, but temperatures expected to rise for the next couple of days and into the weekend. Boating forecast for the northwest and central Bahamas tonight to tomorrow. Variable winds at 5 to 10 knots, seas 1 to 3 feet over the ocean. Your high tide will be at 1 minute past midnight. For the southeast Bahamas, east to southeast flow 10 to 15 knots, seas running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through next Thursday. Beautiful weather through tomorrow. Make it a great night, everybody. Back to you, Candino.
All right, thanks a lot, Greg. Well, on Sunday, most churches, lunch spots, and even homes will be ringing in celebration of moms everywhere. A well-deserved observance for so many who sacrifice so much, while others will be taking a painful trek to the graveyard to visit with those moms who have passed away. Tonight, our Jerome Sawyer speaks with someone experiencing that journey for the first time.
Less than a week ago, Dr. Gemma Roll and her 2 siblings buried their mother. She describes former broadcaster Elva Roll as a constant in their lives.
She was always at our games, at our functions, at our school activities, church. So I just can't imagine life without a mother. This is new for me. So.
Now a mother of 3 herself, she is trying to use the mothering skills passed along.
First of all, she fooled me because she made it seem like being a mother of 3 children was something easy, something simple, like a walk in the park. Mothering 3 children is a full-time job. I would only hope that I can do it as well as she did.
As a medical professional, the rigors of a career and the demands of motherhood require good balancing skills.
From the start of the day, I have to organize myself to figure out how I'm going to be able to finish my day in time. I know that my colleagues, especially my senior colleagues who would have had younger children as they started their career and now they're all off to college and they're adults, they always say they wish they would have made more time. Even a couple of years ago, I tried to say I'm going to dedicate at least a few days where I can actually pick up from school. That conversation in the car is important. I do recall conversation after conversation. She wanted to know how our day was, how we could manage a bit better.
In January, doctors told Roll her mother's illness was terminal.
Mom was preparing us. And she was preparing us for years because there was always an opportunity to celebrate. You're never really prepared, but I feel as though the blow may have been a bit harder had I not had that chance to take care of her over the last few months and somewhat mentally prepare myself for her transition. You know, I call it a transition because I always feel her. She's always with me. She's present. And so she's made a physical transition. Well, you know, she's not here physically.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jerome Sawyer.
All right, thanks a lot, Jerome, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Candino Knowles. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Until then, have a wonderful evening.